What is up, my Storm RighteousRaikou, discharging a new episode of This Week in WWE, joined by your boy Conscious.
Hello.
So it's been a couple weeks that we covered. I had to take a week off, just for some mental health things. Got a lot of stuff going on.
Chris is a
So,
bitch. That's why we took a week off. That's
bro,
confirmed.
I got a test I have to pass.
Nah, Chris is a bitch. He's like, nah, I hate y'all.
Conscious,
I
you're
hate my
black.
fans. Oh,
Your mom gay.
probably.
So as usual, we're gonna get into the news, and part of our news segment, we're also going to be covering some highlights from last week that we personally enjoyed, and that mainly focusing on matches and or segments that really stood out and deserves of the limelight that it should have been gotten last week. But first things first, we got Rich Swann is officially gone from WWE. It was a mutual agreement between the two. WWE released a statement earlier on today, and so it was after the whole domestic abuse issue, and then the charges were dropped, but WWE kind of it's shaky ground, and WWE doesn't want to have that tied to them, and Rich Swann kind of felt the same way, so they all just parted ways mutually, which is a lot
Yeah.
better in general. So next we have Ronda Rousey is confirmed for SummerSlam, and it was released off of the tickets that, like, not the printouts, because like I have printouts for SummerSlam. Um, when you got the physical tickets that you bought from Ticketmaster, it actually has Ronda Rousey's face on it, so it's pretty much right there confirmed she's at SummerSlam, which that's gonna be
It,
cool for me to watch.
it was. I'm sorry to say this. It was logical. They're gonna have
Oh,
Ronda at
oh,
the
trust me,
big.
I know it's obvious and logical.
Yeah,
I'm just saying it's
she's
gonna
gonna
be
be at the
rad.
big four. Yep.
It's gonna be her versus Stephanie McMahon. Let's go.
Sure.
In a three stages of hell match.
Sure.
Please, let's get the '90s back. Um,
Sure, Chris.
Yo,
Sure.
come on, I love that match. But three stages of hell is actually one of my favorite match stipulations. Especially I think it was Austin and Triple H had a three stages of hell match once. I'm trying to remember which one. I think it was Triple H and Austin though, and that was ridiculously brutal and fantastic. Um, but anyhow, after the Royal Rumble, because Mysterio appeared, there's been rumors circulating that Mysterio's looking for a WWE full-time return. He isn't really looking for it, but WWE has said that they're more than open for Mysterio if he wants to come back and do his own thing, for full-time return, that he can. And Mysterio quite can't jump the ship immediately, just because he has already indie obligations and all that. So if he wants to make a full return, we'll probably see it within the next year, probably, if he wants to make a full return. If it's uh,
No. He
it,
could do it earlier because he's not under contract with any independent thing.
well, he still
Because,
wants to make those appearances. He's not known for canceling bookings.
eh,
He's a very busy man, and you know that.
well, at the very least, this is not with Lucha Underground anymore.
Oh, you're right. I'm happy he's not. This also like sets up for the fact he can appear at, like, I don't know, SummerSlam, like any of the big four, just to give like a nice surprise,
Eh,
or even like, oh, oh my God, what if next WrestleMania we get Andrade Cien Almas versus Rey Mysterio?
if this whole UK tournament thing, or not the UK, the Latin American tournament,
Okay, so I'm gonna stop you right there, so that way, because this actually should have been addressed last week. Um, so Regal, so, so this there's not much backstory to this. It's a whole rumor right now. That there's supposed to be a Latin tournament, just like how the United Kingdom Championship tournament was staged. There will also be a Latin America tournament. And William Regal
eh,
went on his personal account and said, "I usually only use this for entertainment purposes, but I have to come out and flat out deny that there is no Latin America tournament." Which means one of two things: either there actually is no tournament,
it
or
is a
he's
Latin American tournament. What's up?
I mean, here's the thing, is yeah, it's more than likely that's the case, but I wouldn't. Regal's usually not the one to be tweeting out red herrings.
No, the thing is, as a WWE official, if it was just rumors spreading around about a Latin American tournament, you don't even have to address it. That's the thing. But they took time out, addressed that it wasn't happening. To be honest, the tournaments have been some of the biggest successes of the WWE lately.
True.
And that's why the Dusty Rhodes tournament is coming back for a third year in a row.
That's one of the biggest things in NXT, honestly.
Yeah. So I understand why they wouldn't want to do it like a Latin American tournament because of it's kind of like I don't know.
So here's my issue I find with this. So let's just say that it's for a championship, and they bring in they make it like the Central America Championship, Latin America Championship, whatever you want to call it. They bring in what, 32, like 16 or 16.
Yeah, 16.
So they bring around 16, have maybe half of them already pre-signed, like already with the WWE, and then 8 of them are scouts.
Yep.
And then those 8 can sign on later. But the problem is, even if you get all those 16 to sign, now you have to worry about getting them showtime. And already UK stars don't get showtime. So how do you expect the Latin American superstars to get showtime? And like they don't have really a good place to film a weekly special for them. Neither does UK right now. So, unless they decide to use Evolve or Progress, I'm sorry.
What more than likely is going to happen, they already have it in the works. You're right with the Progress. What they're going to do is they're going to not like buy Progress, but WWE should be, if they're smart, partner with Progress, have Progress be the home for the UK brand.
Yeah,
because most of the big UK brands that are UK brand people who are not already like on 205 Live, whatever, they are in Progress. That's where they do most Progress and Evolve. That's where they do most of their independent work and shit like that.
So now, but that also brings into a discussion of business practice where now you have people subscribing to the WWE Network, and now it's either you make a bundle deal of if you get WWE Network, you can get Evolve. I'm sorry, Progress. Evolve is still WWE territory. That's why I get mixed up. But you get Progress in the bundle, or because from a customer standpoint, they're not going to want to pay 2 different memberships.
No. They wouldn't pay 2 different memberships. It's going to be part of the network.
I feel like it's going to be a weird acquisition because trying to transfer libraries and then I'm not saying WWE can't do it. It's kind of impractical.
To be fair, they tried to buy fucking TNA's library, which is way larger than Evolve's. Just so they have it where a lot of their bigger stars, Joe, AJ, Bobby...
See, they wouldn't upload all of the library. They would be very selective with the library on what they upload.
But the thing is, if the rumor is correct and Jeff Jarrett is going to Hall of Fame, that's some more shit that could go in their library.
Yeah, I know, but what my point is, even if they have a large library, they're not going to they're not going to use all of it, even if they acquired all of it.
Even,
with Evolve, please kill me. With Progress, you have to you acquire the whole library and upload the whole library. Because of all the superstars that are on Progress, you have to.
I think with that it would be very selective though, because the thing is, not everyone who works for Evolve, because a lot of people who work for Evolve are not under contract, and a lot of those people are not in like, not per se good terms with WWE, but they like haven't really been in the WWE system, and Evolve would lose a crap ton of independent wrestlers. For example, a good one I love Keith Lee. He has never been in
Oh, yo,
WWE
Keith Lee's my
system.
boy.
Yep, he's never been in WWE system, but he works for Evolve quite often.
I I
Same,
almost had a
same thing
chance to go to
with
Evolve show.
Matt Riddle and Zack Sabre Jr. Zack Sabre Jr. is a great example, which he's under contract with New Japan.
True.
So
I
yeah,
kind of wish we had a like a WCW versus WWE scenario with New Japan, where it was LA. I can't remember the fucking acronym. You know who I'm talking about though.
Naito.
No, the whole the big Japanese stable that originally got its name from Spanish
Naito
wrestling.
stable.
Los Ingobernables.
Los Ingobernables de Japón.
Yes.
The LIJ.
Lij, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because like you can do something with Lij, you can do something with Bullet Club. Hell, you can have
Yep.
Suzuki Gun.
To be honest, if WWE wasn't, if their biggest competitors wasn't New Japan, because realistically,
It is realistically right now it is their biggest competitor.
you know what's sad though? New Japan's winning. Their biggest show, Wrestle Kingdom, is probably going to sell more than Mania did, and Wrestle Kingdom gets bigger and bigger every year.
Yeah.
And the thing is, we get such an abundance of WWE stuff that a lot of people, you don't really desire anything. While with Japan, it's a commodity that we get shit. Like we get a pay-per-view once every month or two, right?
Yeah. I think the big pay-per-views, which I still have to watch New to the beginning. I'm upset I haven't yet.
Oh, you heard about the Bullet Club stuff?
Oh no, I didn't see or hear about. No, I think because there was the Bullet Club stuff before that. The Infinite Push, that was before that, I think.
No. Yeah, where Kenny Omega's pretty much excommunicated from Bullet Club.
Because the one match I want to see though is Sonata versus Okada.
Yeah. Oh, but the crazy thing about that is this upcoming next ROH Survival of the Fittest ROH pay-per-view event.
I think so.
Look at this. Yeah, we're gonna see the Golden Lovers, Kenny Omega, the Golden Lovers, Kenny
and Kota,
and Chase Owens versus Marty, Hangman, and Cody.
Oh my god!
And then a couple nights later, we're gonna see Kota and Kenny versus Marty and Cody.
Oh,
no,
Marty.
is it Marty and Cody or Hangman and Cody? It's one of the two.
I love being the elite where it's like, who has the biggest package in the game? Hangman Page.
And then at their big show in March, the night before WrestleMania, we're gonna see Kenny versus Cody. And I'm pretty sure whoever wins that match is gonna be the defining leader of Bullet Club. And
that means if Cody wins, basically Kenny's going to complete Golden Lovers and then maybe an eventual WWE transition.
Yeah, we could potentially see, because of this whole situation, we potentially could see the Bucks leaving Bullet Club as well.
The Young Bucks?
Maybe. Yeah.
I can't see it.
But I don't see it either, but this is the thing. They've been driving at them leaving Bullet Club, but that's dumb on their behalf.
Oh, I know. I think they're just doing the swerve though, honestly.
Yeah, I agree with it. I think Kenny,
literally being the elite is one of the biggest things for wrestling on YouTube.
Yeah. Actually, there's a lot of wrestling YouTube channels I watch now.
I mean, it's one of the biggest ones, though.
Yeah, Joey Ryan has his own. I've recently, funny enough, Bullet Club has been very weird lately, because right now Bullet Club is split into three factions right now. You have like OG Bullet Club, which is
Tama Tonga, Big Fale.
Like Fale, Tonga Loa, Leo Tonga, Chase Owens, Tokyo Pimp, Yujiro Tanahashi, and pretty much the rest of Bullet Club are all like on this one side, and then you have Cody, Kenny, Marty, the Bucks, all that just feeding it out for leadership.
It's fucking
So
wild.
yeah. Okay, so we need to get on focus and focus on this week.
Yeah. Well, it's still fun sometimes to get off track.
Yeah.
And it keeps it gets a nice idea of what's going on in the rest of the world. But yeah, Triple H has a backstage takeover planned. At least this is current speculation floating around that he's either doing one of two things. It's either he's doing more backstage acquisition when it comes to creative, where he's going to have more power on the main roster as Vince kind of starts to fade out with the XFL and all that, and bring on Jeremy Borash for creative. And then the second room, so it's either that or the other rumor is he's planning a NXT stable to invade the main roster. And that I would so much. These are both great options. It's really we don't lose if either of these are true.
We lose if it's another Nexus situation.
Well, okay. If so, Nexus wasn't bad in the slightest. It was the fact that
they lost to John. Like it was like 5v1. Wait, E1 and John beat them all.
Oh yeah, no. I think it was like 5v1 or 6v1, and it's like, oh, Super Cena.
Yep.
I think he lost. I think a SummerSlam he lost a SummerSlam for every single Nexus member he buried, sans Baron Corbin. Which Baron Corbin was rumored supposed to be the last person, and I was like, all right. Feels bad, man. But moving on, we have Jason Jordan is out of Mania due to some neck injuries that at first were perceived as very minor, but they're becoming very, very serious. I mean, there's not much really comment on that. Except
that I was gonna say that's why we're getting Seth in the Elimination Chamber in the weird 7-man Elimination Chamber.
That was on Raw. We didn't even get to Raw yet.
Yeah, but still.
And also just because we already brought it up. So as Kurt Angle's announcing that his son has a broken neck, everyone's chanting yes, and being like clapping and being happy the fact that the man has a broken neck. And Kurt Angle's like, "Yo, I don't like it the fact that you're just cheering for that my son has a broken neck." It's kind of fucked.
WWE Universe are dickheads.
You're right, except like Jason Jordan, nobody really likes. Let's be real.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's also a good time the fact people are cheering that something bad happened to him, because that makes him so much more of a better heel when he comes back.
Yeah.
Because it gives him fuel to use. But so we're gonna end off this week with this week's news with some highlights we found that are worthwhile of last week to go watch. My personal favorite match, at least from 205 Live last week, was Roderick Strong versus Hideo Itami in a first round Cruiserweight Classic match. And oh my god. It's Roderick Strong's first match in 205 Live. Best selling he's ever done. And Hideo looking ridiculously strong. There was a good amount of the match was Hideo. I wouldn't say it was like a vast majority, but there was a slight majority. But so much good selling on Roderick Strong's part. He ended up picking up the win with the end of Heartache, and it's just overall must-see match. Probably the best match on 205 Live in this Cruiserweight Classic. The Cruiserweight Classic match.
It says RIP Hideo, getting buried already.
I wouldn't say it's buried, though. He looked really strong. If he was buried, it would have been a 5-second match.
RIP Hideo.
Listen, I'd rather see Roderick Strong as champion than Hideo.
accurate, but still, R.I.P. Hideo.
Yo, you're right. Um, but I I'm trying, and I mean, there was not too much that was memorable from the week before. Um,
No,
there there was like the qualifiers with Cena and
wait,
Balor.
what? Oh, Braun killed everybody last week.
Oh yeah, you're right. Braun actually
Pretty
killed
much that's all.
somebody
Yep, he started. It was the triple threat match between
It was
Cena,
Cena versus
Elias.
Elias versus Strowman
Yep, Elias picked up the victory in
with a
the
roll up.
match. Yep. No, he didn't pick up a roll up.
I thought it was a roll up because it was like a
No,
steal.
no,
Oh
no, no,
no,
no,
no, he hit the
he got
running power slam. He was
he got hit with the power
and shoved
slam.
out of the ring. You're right. You're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
and he got pushed out, and Braun was pissed, so he just killed he killed Cena and
And I'll get to my favorite, but once we get to Raw, when it comes up, I'll exactly say what my favorite segment on Raw
what we're
was.
talking about. It's Brown Snowman.
Yo, he was my favorite segment of that whole night. But, I mean NXT. I think last week it was the Undisputed Era versus Sanity, in a tag team tornado
Triple
match,
threat. Yep.
and that's a must watch match. By far,
Yeah.
for an NXT match, it's must watch.
Yeah.
Especially for Big Damo. Big Damo was ridiculously strong in that match.
Yeah.
Like once Sanity disbands, he is the person that's going to shine in the main roster.
Yeah, I agree.
I in Raw and SmackDown last week wasn't too spectacular either, honestly. There was nothing really shining on that. So but definitely watch 205 Live from last week. Especially this week too. We'll get into why, but last week, at least, if you're not going to watch the whole 205 Live match, at least just watch Roderick Strong versus Hideo. Fantastic match. NXT, fantastic. Overall, last week wasn't too bad. But now we get into this week. So, on Raw, we had a promo between Cena and Miz. There's not much really to explain. These two literally just went at it with their past history and all that, and Cena saying, oh, this is my only way to get to Mania, but even though it's not a believable story, just because it's Big Match John, he's going to get to Mania somehow, and they're going to probably put him in some other match, whether it be him versus Undertaker, which please, or it's going to be him versus The Miz for the IC title. And, I mean, as much as that would be a cool match, I wouldn't really want that. Which then led into a match of Cena versus Miz. Overall, it was a good match. Rather lengthy, actually. It was like 10 or 15 minutes long. Good action. Miz kicked out of, I think, an AA or two. And then he was put away with the Super AA or Avalanche AA, depending on how you view the terminology. And scored the win that way. But made Miz look decently strong. That he's still considered like a main eventer person overall. But yeah, decent match. No real complaints on it. And then we got into the Revival versus Gallows and Anderson. It's not a bad match, but really they need to start they lost so many face teams that they have to resort to Gallows and Anderson trying to pull a face, and it's not working. And their whole nerd gimmick, it's getting really dry. It's just boring, but overall it was a decent match. Revival won with the Shatter Machine, 1, 2, 3. And then Kurt Angle comes out for a couple of announcements. So, like before, we talked about with Jason Jordan being out of Mania because of his broken freaking neck. Angle also announced that Ronda Rousey is signing her contract at Elimination Chamber. So, they got a huge draw on that, too. And then eventually Seth Rollins came out saying, like, oh, I know what it feels like to miss out on Mania. So he was added to the last chance qualifier at the end of the night um, for the Elimination Chamber. And then we had Sasha Banks versus Bayley. Decent match. I have no complaints, but I didn't really care. I mean, Bayley won a match for once. I'm shocked, to be honest. There's usually next to no way for her to actually shine. We also had another kind of filler match of Mickie James and Alexa Bliss versus Absolution with Mandy. I think it was Mandy Rose picking up the win. I actually completely forget. I think it was Mandy Rose picked up the win against Mickie James. I can't even remember. I kind of like half tuned in on the match. Is Conscious dead? Conscious is dead. Okay. And then next we had a little promo segment of Elias, and then he's about to start playing, and all of a sudden JoJo, she gets on the mic and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, Braun Strowman," and you see Braun Strowman sitting at the top of the ramp with a giant ass orchestra bass and just singing into the microphone. And the funny the great part is he's actually really good, and he has he's singing this kind of with a country twang thing. It's just so great. He even sings "I'm not finished with you," and then gets up, hoists the bass over his shoulder, and just starts walking to the ring. Not just casually walking. Elias just yo, let's be civil about this. Let's put our guitars down. Let's talk this out, and then whatever. Braun just all right, fine. Elias tries to get a cheap shot. Nope. He gets utterly assaulted by Strowman. And then as Elias is trying to crawl away, gets up to the top of the ramp, Strowman follows behind, just menacingly behind, with the bass over his shoulder, and just smacks the giant bass over his back. It was just so great.
Braun Strowman, the best thing to come out of Monday Night Raw.
Honestly, I think this is probably the best segment involving Braun Strowman, because now they finally gave him mic time to actually shine a little bit instead of doing the whole Raw gimmick, Raw XD.
And as a side note, Braun actually has a very decent voice.
Yo, that's what I was saying. He actually can sing. I was almost I almost thought he was gonna start playing the bass for real, and then if he actually tried playing the bass for real and it just snapped in half, that would have been even better because it wasn't planned. But that segment I think it just wins as segment of the night, honestly.
Every week after week, Braun just impresses me more and more.
Remember when we thought Braun wasn't going anywhere?
Yep.
We were proved wrong so fast.
Yep, Braun is the GOAT.
Remember when he had a goat mask?
Yep.
Oh no, it was a black sheep, but still. But that was hilarious. I'm still waiting for my Braun Strowman versus Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, Bray's gonna die. I cannot wait.
Yo, but I mean, Bray Wyatt's already buried. Remember when Bray Wyatt was champion? Pepperidge Farm remembers. That was a whole year ago.
That.
It was a whole year ago, and he held that title for a whole 2 months.
This is bad, man. The sad part is Jinder had a longer title reign. Ew, no.
Yeah, Jinder had a longer title reign, and he took it off of Randy Orton.
God damn it, Keith.
God damn it, Bobby. I blame Cowboy Bob Orton for giving birth to the man. But yeah, we got Reigns and Sheamus after that. Pointless match. Whatever. Reigns wins. LOL. And then we get to the final match tonight, which was Rollins versus Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt versus Matt Hardy. I'm sorry, Woken Matt Hardy versus Apollo Crews in a Fatal 5-Way qualifier. So this is where this gets really weird. So, this had a weird finish. So it ended with a top rope powerbomb from, I think it was Rollins, or was it Balor? It was one of the two. I
No
think it
idea.
was
Didn't watch it.
I think it was Balor did the power bomb, and then Rollins just saw Bray Wyatt's down, made the cover, and then Balor made the cover at the same time. So ref counted the pinfall and ruled that they both were pinning the same man. So really the logical thing would be, it's like, oh, let's have a determination match next week, 1v1. Instead, Kurt Angle's like, you know what, we're going to get a 7-man Elimination Chamber match. Okay. That's not how math works, but you got it. You got it, Kurt. 7-man Elimination Chamber match. So that either means...
Where the fuck we get the extra chamber from?
Huh?
That means we're going to get an extra chamber out of somewhere. I don't know where.
It's either we get an extra chamber or it starts as a triple threat.
I don't know.
It's one or the other, and I think... Because Jack the Jobber was talking about it, he's like, I think it'll start as a triple threat match. I don't know. I don't know how easy or difficult it is to make another pod. But also the way the
thing is the pods are perfectly in the corners. That's the thing.
Yeah, so it doesn't make... Yo, it's gonna be the 5th pod is gonna be from the top of the ceiling. You gotta jump.
That would be hilarious.
Yo, it's gonna be Elias's pod too, so that way he's last.
The sad part about it, they're doing this just because now, I'm telling you, this is the Mania card. We're going to see Elias versus John. We're going to see...
You know I don't want that.
I know you know, but that's what we're getting. Elias versus John. We're going to get Finn versus Seth, and we're going to get... The last is going to be...
Roman versus Brock, LOL.
Roman versus Brock, and then who are the other two in the match?
Miz
and
Strowman.
Braun. Miz and Braun are gonna fight at Mania, yeah.
Yo, Strowman wins IC title at Mania.
Yep, and that's if and only if Rock gets approved to wrestle. Because if Rock, because I can spiritually see Braun being Ronda's partner if she does fight Stephanie.
Because the way I also here's my dream booking, because rumors. Is I really just want John Cena versus Undertaker, just that one last ride match. I need it. I really need it. Quite honestly, I wish we had Undertaker versus Sting instead of Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt, but you know.
But Seth killed him.
Yeah. Hashtag blame Seth.
Hashtag blame Seth. Actually, this is legit.
And I love how they finally start calling... Like, here's what I hate... Where I hate the commentary table. So Corey Graves calls it the blackout. Now, Michael Cole's calling it the stomp. Bruh.
It's called the blackout when he was on the independent scene. It's called the curve stomp.
Corey Graves straight up, when he... Seth Rollins pulled that finisher out for the first time this year, Corey Graves called it the blackout. And Michael Cole called it the curb stomp and or stomp. Which is stupid. Just call it the blackout. It sounds a lot better. It just sounds a lot more damaging. Because it's like, oh, Finn Balor with a stomp. Oh no, it's Rollins with a stomp of his own. Cole, stop. Please, just mute yourself. He's becoming the equivalent of Booker T. But anyhow, that was Raw. The really only big thing that happened was Strowman being Strowman and singing. It was... Now I got an idea to build Braun Strowman as a character for Dungeons and Dragons and make him a bard. And carry a big-ass bass. Oh, comedy. But now we get into SmackDown, which was supposed to start with Ziggler versus Corbin for a Fastlane qualifier to make it a Fatal 4-Way match. But then Zayn and Owens got involved. So now Shane's like, yeah, you know what? Screw you both. It's going to be Corbin versus Owens, Ziggler versus Zayn, and if both you lose your matches, both of them are added into the Fastlane pay-per-view. And if you guys get involved in each other's matches, you guys are subtracted from the pay-per-view. So basically, SmackDown wanted to pull a Raw, as always, and Kevin
Yeah.
Dunn has the most obnoxious graphics, and that just hate him. But anyhow, Charlotte versus Sarah Logan, throwaway match. Sarah Logan got a decent amount of offense in, but obviously Charlotte won. And no, I'm sorry, Sarah Logan won.
She did?
I think so. Cause
No, I thought Charlotte won. She won with natural selection.
I'm probably then wrong, just because I completely forget anything that happened on Tuesday.
Don't worry, I black out when it comes to watching wrestling sometimes too.
Yeah,
Oh shit,
honest.
these shows are.
What's up?
I black out too sometimes how shit these shows are.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, SmackDown's just been so subpar. I'm like, I really don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, natural selection. You're right. Because I was reading a excerpt, like, on someone's opinion on a match, and I got like confused. So I was like, wait, what? But anyhow, decent match, I guess. But moving on, we have Owens versus Baron Corbin, and Corbin picked up the win. Now, here's the funny thing. The crowd didn't know how to react to this match for at least a solid, like, 6 minutes of the match. Until they're finally like, alright, so we're going to start cheering for Baron Corbin because they're both heels. And Owens is the more scummier of the two. It was it was a weird, it was weird, man. And then so yeah, Corbin picked up the win. So now it's a fatal 4-way as of that moment. After that, we had a whole Bobby Roode segment of the United States Championship, the Prestige, whatever. Then Randy Orton comes out, and then Jinder Mahal comes out, and they bring up the stupid SmackDown top 10, trying to keep like Jinder's
I
like,
don't know. I still don't know what the.
Yo, Mr. Number 9, when it's like, all right, well, at least I'm number 9. You're not even on the list.
I still don't understand why that's a thing. I don't care about top 10.
I don't know. I guess they're ripping off a Cultaholic. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's bad. It's just it's a waste of my time. After that, we get New Day Pancakes.
Yo.
Where your boy Big E is just in the center of the ring about to eat a bunch of pancakes on Pancake Day. And like it was like a pancake competition. And then Gable and Benjamin come down. They're like, yeah, you know what? You're such a good person at this. You should, like, leave WWE and never come back. And then they got a match where Big E won.
Yeah.
And I'm so upset what they're doing with Gable and Benjamin. They're so talented and they're used so poorly. And the crowd is never behind them.
The reason why because I think their plans at Mania, they have the filler feud of the Usos versus what's his face? The Usos versus
Rusev Day?
No, they're fighting what's his face? I was gonna say the Bar, but it's not the Bar. It's
There's not many teams. On SmackDown, there's like no teams, dude.
Bludgeon Brothers. They're gonna fight the Bludgeon Brothers.
I don't want that for Mania.
No, that's not Mania. That's the next. That's their Fastlane.
Oh, I was about to say I don't want that for Mania. That's garbage.
No. At Mania, they are fighting. What's his face, bro?
Oh, what, Rusev Day?
No, at Mania they're fighting the New Day.
But I want Rusev Day.
But you're getting New Day.
Yeah, but Rusev Day on WrestleMania falls on Rusev Day.
You're getting the New Day versus the Usos, and you're gonna.
No, I'm not, because it's not. It's Rusev Day. You can't have WrestleMania on Rusev Day and not feature Rusev.
He's not gonna feature. You're gonna get what you get. You're gonna like it.
Yeah, and people also said, Tobin, that's not a tank, and I'm like, yeah, guess what? Rusev's on the tank. No, he's not. 2 seconds later, oh, that's a tank.
We're all getting New Day versus Usos.
I know, but I'm gonna say I'm not gonna like it.
We're gonna have to learn to love it.
I don't want no pancakes.
WWE.
I don't want no pancakes.
Bangkok is. But they are doing it for a valid reason, though. They are doing it for a very valid reason, actually, bro.
Because money.
No, because the Usos are going to Raw. That's what I want to happen. Usos go to Raw. New Day, Raw, SmackDown, switch over the Revival, and New Day, start a feud.
Yo, true.
Continuation from the feud because
Well, no,
that was the last.
no. If they want to continue feud, then they make a New Day jump ship to Raw again.
No, the thing
No,
is, the
because
Revival needs to.
Rivalry has a feud with New Day that they didn't even finish or
I
start.
know
Rather.
that's why you need to switch the New Day over. I mean, switch
Oh,
the
because you're
Revival
gonna put
over.
Revival on SmackDown. You're saying.
Yes, because the New Day, because the Revival, realistically, after losing clean to the
Oh wait, no,
Balor,
no. What you're saying actually makes more sense now because the thing is, there's a lack of face teams on Raw, and there's a lack of heel teams on SmackDown.
his teams on SmackDown. Yep,
That makes a lot more sense now.
because a lot of the heel quote unquote heel teams on SmackDown are not really that heel. They're
Rusev Day is
fucking low.
supposed to be heel. It's a face now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Breezango. Realistically, the only heels really
Ascension.
the real quote unquote heels are Gable and
They're not
Benjamin.
even really heels though.
The hypothetically they're supposed to be heels. Them and the Bludgeon Brothers are the only two real heels.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, Blunger Brothers are like straight up heels, but like
Yeah.
Gable and Benjamin, like they're more tweeners than anything. Honestly,
Yeah.
they kind of
Yeah,
just
they're
like
gonna
we
have
don't
to.
give a fuck. We just arrive and
They
get
need
paychecks.
realistically the Revival does need a restart of themselves because
Well, so does
after the
Gable and Benjamin. They're falling flat on their face.
yeah.
Well, that's also not their fault though. They are performing their best. It's the fact the crowd's not behind them.
Yeah, I think they pulled the trigger way too early on the breaking up American Alpha.
Yeah, because they
What they could have done, realistically, have they should have had American Alpha team up with Shelton Benjamin and kind of have like Team Angle 2.0, but instead of Kurt being the centerpiece of the team, have it be Shelton.
well that I was gonna say what they also could do. Not saying they would, but they could shift Gable and Benjamin to Raw and then form World's Greatest Tag Team 2.0. Because Kurt Angle's there.
Yeah.
But that's just fancy booking.
Yep.
Moving on to the last match was Dolph Ziggler versus Sami Zayn, and Dolph Ziggler won with the super kick.
Yep.
And crowd didn't know how to cheer.
I will say, Dolph did what he does best. He sold the shit out of it. He super kicked and just kind of passed out on top of the pin.
Yo, but do you know how much Dolph's new contract is now?
No, how much is it?
It's like at least 1.6 million.
That's nice. Hell,
least.
he's one of their best workers. You pay that man the money he wants.
Because I think Jack was saying it was like 1.6 million or something like that. Like it was over 1.5 million.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, good. That's definitely an incentive to stay at WWE when you're offered $1.5 million.
He's one of their best workers. Realistically, he does a lot of their like. He's a very.
He's a workhorse.
Yeah.
He's the biggest workhorse. Honestly, I hate to say this, but he's kind of the Shawn Michaels of our generation, except for the mid card.
Yeah. And the next up was
Mixed Match Challenge of Ravishing Rusev Day of Lana and Rusev versus Bayley and Elias. And sadly,
Lana actually won our first match.
Yeah. Don't remind me. I'm so salty. I am so salty about that.
R.I.P. Bayley.
Bro, getting pinned by Lana, that's disgraceful.
Lana is the best. Lana number one.
That chant, I couldn't.
Lana number one.
That was so great. I love Rusev.
Lana is best. Lana number one.
Yo, but I loved the entrance, quote unquote entrance for Bayley and Elias. They were about to actually both play guitar. I was like, yo, this is awesome. I was so waiting for it. Because I wanted Bayley and Elias to actually advance, though. Because I saw really awesome fan art. Of like a
Dude, no, actually, you know what team in the Mixed Match Challenge is really sleeper, and I really enjoyed the tag team?
Hmm.
Rose Gold.
Oh, I didn't watch their match, sadly.
Oh, oh, Mandy and Goldust together are so
Who
good.
won? Usos?
The Usos, yeah,
Yeah, I thought
but
so.
Mandy and Goldust are so good together, bruh.
Yo, I honestly, I
Them
kind
two,
of, I was gonna say, I wish they brought in like mixed gender tag belts.
mm-hmm.
Like that'd be so cool. Like it would give Rose Gold a huge push.
I love like that tag team was very slap on. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I gotta put that on my watch list. But yeah,
Yeah,
Mixed Match Challenge this week. It was great for the memes.
yeah.
And besides Lana, just kill me.
R.I.P. Bailey,
Or,
R.I.P.
hey,
Bailey.
we want some dead Bailey.
Yep.
But
Next was
205 Live,
the Tour for
which is
Live.
ironically now one of the best days of the week.
Yep.
So
And
now,
which it used to be the worst wrestling, and I never watched it. But that's the one thing I'm adamantly looking at every week.
literally, I'm going to call him Rockstar Spud. I hate the name Drake Maverick. It sounds so
he
stupid.
has a big part of the reason it's doing so well. Triple H is in control.
Oh
of
yeah,
it
no,
now.
Triple H is in control completely of the show, and now with Spud being the general manager, it gives everything so much more liveliness. It's
Mm-hmm.
it for those who are not familiar with Spud, picture Enzo Amore times 10 on the mic and actually has really good in-ring skills and isn't a sexual assault person.
Who are we talking about?
I oh what the person I'm comparing to Enzo except better in every single way?
Yeah, who is that? The
Spud.
fuck?
Spud.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I was about to say, yeah, he's like Enzo, except he doesn't rape women.
That's fair.
But yeah, so first match of the night we had Tozawa versus Mark Andrews, and oh my god.
Good match. Good match. Good
Great match. Mark Andrews got up the win by a counter to a roll up.
Yeah.
That was just so good though.
I think he's gonna be going. He might end up going deep in this tournament because he didn't use his shooting star press.
He's either going deep or he's getting eliminated next round.
Yeah.
If he hits the shooting star press, he's winning that match.
Yep.
Because so for the Slumdog Millionaire, it's the unprotected one.
Yeah. Which I do like it as well. That stunner of his, it's very good.
The thing is, I haven't seen him use it in a normal setup. I always see him use it as a counter.
Yeah.
Because the way the setup was on Tozawa, he had him in a suplex, kind of transitioned almost a little bit into a brainbuster because it was a straight vertical lift, and then twisted right into a stunner.
Uh-huh.
But that stunner just looks so nice. But yeah,
Dude,
overall,
that,
great match. Next, we had a segment of Buddy Murphy. So,
yeah.
And Buddy Murphy, he's going to be the 205 Live now. He's officially 204 pounds.
204.4.
Yeah. 204.4. Like the 0.4 really makes a difference.
Yep.
But
we also, in the middle of that, I think we got the Gallagher.
Oh yeah, the Gallagher thing where he jumped in. He's just like, yeah, I better see you in tights next week.
Which I'm excited. So, boy Jack back again, once again. He's about to do some vicious. I want to see some more vicious headbutts.
Though I do want to talk about Buddy Murphy for a second, just because this is a really big thing for him jumping from NXT, and he was really good as a tag team champion until Alexa Bliss came in and stole the show. And kind of, when she left NXT, kind of left Blake and Murphy to die, essentially.
Yeah.
So now, Buddy, I feel like he's going to be a very strong heel on 205.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he was definitely underappreciated in NXT, and I look forward to what they're going to give us. And for all I know, they might actually even put him in a qualifier match.
Oh no, he is a qualifier match.
Oh, because I know he's in a match. I don't know if it was qualifier or not.
Yeah, he's facing
What, Jack?
Huh?
What, Jack Gallagher?
Oh no, he's facing Ari Daivari. Ari Daivari.
Okay, yeah, Ari Daivari is losing that.
Yep, it's Gallagher versus Mustafa Ali.
Ooh.
That's gonna be a good one.
That's
I'm
gonna be
really
good.
excited about that. I'm really excited about it.
But speaking of good matches, Drew
We
Gulak versus Tony Nese, the GOATs.
Ah, my boy, Drew Gulak motorized some people.
Yo, but Tony Nese though, my boy from Long Island.
Tony Nese brought out some shit I haven't seen from him in a while.
He tried to do a 640 splash.
Yep, he did, and he didn't do that stupid like running the little jogging thing in the corner that he does. He didn't. This was more of no more showing off, no more flashy shit for TV. This is we're gonna go out there, we're gonna have a fucking match, and they did have a match, and it was fucking beautiful.
The match was so good. It finally showed what they were like in the cruiserweight division.
Yep.
In the Cruiserweight Classic.
And then, personally, my favorite part of the entire thing was my boy Drew Gulak. He kind of went nuts.
Yo, Gulak slammed Nese into the table 3 times.
Yeah, and not only that, Gulak was not kind of seen unconscious. He wasn't really unconscious people, but he was like selling in an unconscious state.
Yeah.
And Gulak put him in the Dragon Sleeper and just choked that man out.
But the thing is, it wasn't just that. After the tables, he did 2 deadlift power bombs, and then the Dragon Sleeper just to add a little extra overkill.
I very much was happy about that.
That was absolute overkill. The man's a monster.
Yes, they gave him his savage I'm going to kill you gimmick, which I think is the best thing ever. I love Drew Gulak.
I always got side with my boy Tony Nese. As much as I love Drew Gulak, my boy Tony Nese, because he's Long Island native.
That's fair.
I know they both got good things ahead of them. That I'm so happy the fact 205 Live's actually a good thing to watch now. But yeah,
pretty much right now 205. The 2 shows to watch are 205 Live and NXT.
Accurate. Sometimes Raw. Honestly, Raw has its moments, like Strowman.
No. Let's be real. That Raw Strowman. It's not even bullshit. Strowman.
Yo, it's the Strowman show.
Yep, it's like don't watch the entire Raw, people. Just watch Braun Strowman.
Yo, if I had a whole 3 hours of Braun Strowman matches, I'd be so happy.
I'll be happy with Braun for 3 hours. Yeah.
Just give him a giant bass and just have him start singing.
It's like, who's Braun gonna kill today? Oh, you're dead. Bye.
Oh my god, please! He should have that as a gimmick if he enters #1 in the Royal Rumble next year. He should bring out a bass and a microphone, and he just starts playing. And as each person comes down, he throws them up and just keeps playing.
Yep.
Pull a CM Punk except better.
Yep.
But
Braun
yeah,
is so fucking good.
205 Live must watch. This week, absolute must watch. And then the final thing of this week was NXT. Starting off the night, mad strong. No pun and no pun intended. Roderick Strong versus Pete Dunne for the UK Championship.
Good match. It wasn't the best thing that both men had to offer, but it was a good match.
It was a nice way to, because no one really lost anything from the match. It was a good showing, especially since it's not really a takeover match. They didn't have to go completely all out, but it was a nice way to kind of send Strong off, and Strong always knows how to be a workhorse when needed.
Yep, they like I said, it wasn't their best work, but it was good. I was happy. I was satisfied.
Strong's work against I was about to say Kenta, but Hideo Itami.
Yep, that was
a lot better.
Yep.
So much better.
The thing is, yeah, like you were saying, it wasn't the best. It's good. It's
I
really good. I
I just
enjoyed
really
it.
hope that we get Pete Dunne in another UK Championship match at WrestleMania weekend.
I think he is. I think he's gonna be on the.
Because the title's never defended. That's why it's so annoying.
Yeah.
Because I'm
And
at
a bit, a big part of that is because they don't have a official thing for
I
it
know,
brand
and
either.
they really need to get their shit together.
Yeah.
But also, side note for NXT, for what happened last week, because this is actually kind of important in a story perspective for Johnny Gargano and Cien Almas. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
they set up another championship match, but this is a last chance where if Johnny Gargano loses, he leaves NXT for good. And sadly, I
No,
already know the
not.
results of that match.
Yeah. R.I.P. Johnny Wrestling.
Yeah, to completely ignore. Go ahead and skip by like 30 seconds while we quickly rant about while we basically discuss spoilers. And if you
The thing is, my big thing is, I don't know what the fuck they're gonna do because they've been setting their NXT's feud to end all feuds should be
oh no,
Gargano
hold on,
versus Ciampa.
no, I trust me. This is where the spoilers come in. It's going to be an unsanctioned match at Takeover.
What Gargano Ciampa?
Yeah, Gargano Ciampa, unsanctioned.
No. The thing is, they just if he lost, is he done with NXT?
So he's not a member of NXT when he lost, therefore he's not a part of the brand anymore. That's why they have to make it an unsanctioned match at Takeover.
Okay.
But technically, William Regal can pull some strings and say, you know what, we're gonna extend this a little bit. Because
I've been waiting for that match since
no,
the turn happened.
as I just said, it's gonna be an unsanctioned match at Takeover.
Okay, as long as I get my match, I'm happy. I don't care as long as
That's
I get
what's
my
gonna
goddamn
happen. It's
match.
gonna be an unsanctioned match. That way, it's all or nothing. We're gonna see tables, chairs, crutches, everything.
I want to see people die.
Chances are you're gonna see Gargano die.
I can't wait. RP Gargano.
Upsetty spaghetti who touched my spaghetti. But and then an NXT so let's just get spoilers. We have the last two matches of the night, which was TM61 versus a pair of enhancement wrestlers. TM61 won with Thunder Valley, and it nothing spectacular, just kind of existed.
That was the last match of the night, Chris.
And then Ember Moon versus Shayna Baszler for the Women's Championship, where
Yep.
Shayna Baszler won by disqualification because Kairi Sane's like, yo, stop hurting her.
Yep. In which I have a theory we're gonna see triple threat at the Mania takeover between Shayna, Kyrie, and Ember, and I see Shayna going over and setting up for Ember to go up.
Yo, Ember Moon's gonna get choked out at Takeover. Let's go.
Yep. R.I.P. Ember.
Yo, but I mean, she's gonna be the one to break Asuka's streak. Just wait it.
You're not wrong on that one.
It's only you'll watch they cuck us and make it Ronda Rousey beats her streak.
That would upset a lot of people.
Yo, but that would mean Ronda Rousey's the biggest heel of all time now.
That would upset a lot of people, including myself.
She would literally get the most heat. She would be the equivalent of Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar.
Bork Laser.
Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar.
Dude. Yo, I mean, the man can F5 a shark.
Yeah.
But,
That's it, right?
That's it for this week. Thank you guys very much for tuning in this week. Hopefully I'll see you guys next week if I remember and am not a lazy piece of shit. But
yep. Hashtag Blame Chris.
See you guys next time.
Ah.